folks, welcome to an extra special episode of the Pirate Round. Now, I be Captain Toki Bloodaxe, and this be Rhoda Robin, or the Scarlet Raven. We're, of course, docked our ship here at our hull. Our ship, of course, is the Carrion Crow. And we have our crew with us. We have Runa, Red Scarf. We had Fuzzy Bjornside, Bilgy, our Bilge Rat, Pi, our other pirate rat.
Erik the Red.
And we have Erik the Red, who was our Swatch.
Now we've gone back in time to fight the Viking horde.
We have. We've gone back in time to talk to you today about a little bit of Norse history and a special drink that the Norse highly revered, and that is mead.
It's a drink that we love.
And it's a drink that we love. So, first of all, we're going to have a toast to our friends. And this is for our friends, how much we appreciate you, wish you were here, and we miss you greatly. And we say to you now, folks,
Skål.
Skål.
Mead.
Another.
Mead.
Another.
Mead.
Another.
This is a song about death, mead, and a ghost. The Einherjar's final preparation for Ragnarok. Welcome to the land of your High-Lovers! If you are ruthless in battle so true, if chosen in death, there is room for you too. By Norreal Valkyries taken away to the hall of the fallen. A feast awaits me. Another. Me. Another. Me. Another.
So, the thing about mead is it's one of the oldest fermented drinks. They found fermented honey inside the pyramids in Egypt. And in the Norse culture, of course, which goes back to 600s, 700s, 800s, 900s, and the thousands, we're talking about a history of mead making that goes back 1,000 years.
Now there's a ancient drink referred to as ambrosia, which was made from honey, which could probably actually be mead.
It might actually be mead. I mean, they must have thought enough of it to call it ambrosia, which is today we use the expression, oh, it was pure ambrosia. So mead, of course, is basically just honey, water, and yeast, and that's to ferment it. And so it's a fermented drink. But there are other types of meads as classified in the modern age. There is melomel, which is a fruit,
Right.
kind of a fruit-flavored honey wine. It's not really a wine, it's a mead, but it has fruit added. There's metheglin, which is spiced, which has different spices, such as, say, like cardamom, added to mead. And then there's Sizer, which is a carbonated mead.
Other meads, but we don't really know those that well.
Yeah.
We have friends who know the mead definitions far better than us, but those are the three most common meads, or
True.
four most common meads, I should say.
Yeah, and that's the ones that we're going to be able to deal with here, and we're going to talk about. So,
Mead, which is pure honey water yeast.
yes.
Melomel, fruit honey water mead, or honey water yeast, excuse me. And metheglin, which is spice honey water and yeast.
True.
Now, mead takes at least a year to make good mead.
Yeah.
You can rush it.
You can rush it, but you end up with an abortion of a drink that is just absolutely horrid. Usually highly carbonated to mask the flavor.
Right. There are places that do accelerate the aging process, and they do it in about 4 months, but they do it with carbonation.
Carbonation, and they add chemicals to it, sometimes benzene, believe it or not, which speeds up carbonation, speeds up fermentation. And we're not going to talk about that or mention any names, but folks, be very careful. If the mead you buy doesn't have a reputation of being old or brewed over a year, you're probably drinking something that maybe you don't want to drink.
You could say we're almost mead snobs in many ways, because we've been introduced to some really good meads, and we've had some really bad meads. And when somebody talks certain meads, we may badmouth them. In person, we're not going to do that here.
Yeah. So we have something today, and I would actually call this a metheglin, because it's got spices added. This is Danish mead, Dansk Mjod, Dansk Mjod, from Dansk Mjod of us. It's called Viking Blood. And I've thought about, we haven't seen this in stores for a long time. Then all of a sudden it started showing up. We started seeing these big bottles of this. And I believe it comes from Denmark. I'm not 100% sure. It's sort of, it says, based on a recipe from about the year 1700, which doesn't place it in the Viking Age at all.
No, it places it in the time of our typical channel, the Pirate Round.
The Pirate Round, which is really odd. But it comes in this heavy crock-like kind of bottle.
Well, kings and nobles would have been drinking mead.
Yeah.
Not so much your pirates, but your nobles would have.
Oh, certainly. And that's what it says here. The world's oldest fermented beverage made from honey has been a popular drink from Europe to Australia, dating back to long before the Viking times. One of the earliest references to fermented honey can be found in the Hindus of India's holy books, the Veda books, which date back 4,000 years and possibly even earlier than that. Wow. So our products are brewed based on a recipe from around the year 1700. Ingredients are pure and 100% natural, guaranteed free from additives of any kind. Honey is the major and most important item in this recipe. So, folks, it all comes down to the honey and what you do to help the bees and to make sure that you have bees in this world who they can ferment our, they can they can pollinate our crops and they can pollinate our plants, and so we keep having plants that we can eat and we have more honey. Take care of bees. Without them, we cannot survive.
No, in fact, bees, just a little bit of, going a little side here, bees are actually in a decline. They're dying off. They have mites and pesticides killing them off and other sort of things. And without bees, the number one producer of pollination for any plant that produces a fruit or vegetable or anything else is a bee. Bat is number two, and both of those are on the decline.
Well, butterflies also.
Butterflies
are
are
also
the
also on the decline too.
They're the third,
Very sad.
the third top pollinator. So you got bees, bats, and butterflies, and all three of them are on the decline and dying off. Without any one of the three, well,
I've heard it said that without pollination of fruit and crops, humanity has 2 years, and that's it. And I believe it. So, not to
get too much on a run.
Not to get much in a rut or drag everybody down. We've got some Viking blood, which of course we like. Blood of the Viking. I expected this to be red in color. It's actually not. It's sort of
kind of a blush.
Kind of a blush. It's got a cork in there, all right.
Wood with a cork.
Yeah.
Is that a real cork or is it a plastic cork?
That's a real cork. And with a wood top. It's really nice. Comes in this crockery bottle. It's not really glass. It's like heavy, thick crockery. Kind of ancient styling. Pour some in here for the Scarlet Raven. I don't want to pour too much. She's had way too much mead today.
Never enough mead.
So I'll pour me just a... There we go. Okay. Now,
After all this rum, I'm going to be ready for a quest.
Rum, beer,
quests, and mead.
Firing the cannons and raising the flag. This is the piratical wave. Under the sign of the storm of ale. Soon with your lives you will pay. Oh, we'll all take a vice into the barrel and drink what we find. Rum, beer, quest and mead. These are the things that a pirate needs. Raise the flag and let's set sail. Under the sign of the storm of ale. Rum, beer, quests and mead. These are the things that a pirate needs. Raise the flag and let's set sail. Under the sign of the storm of ale.
These are the things that a pirate needs. So let's set sail.
Skull.
Skull.
Yeah, it's got a strong spice flavor.
Yeah, it's almost sharp.
Yeah, it's a little almost overwhelming. What is that spice? Oh, they say it is
Hibiscus?
Hibiscus. Which, if you don't know hibiscus, it's sort of like cinnamon, but in a way, but not quite.
This is a fairly popular mead now. It's not as bad as other meads that we've had.
Yeah, it is quite popular worldwide. They ship it everywhere. I think They probably produce it by the hundreds and thousands of gallons. I've seen it in stores now. I used to just see it online, and we used to wonder when we could get it. Now I see it all over in stores. I really think they need to dial back the spice. The spice is maybe almost a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah,
and
it almost takes the breath away when the first swallow.
yeah, it's right there, and it kind of like
No, it's not a bad mead.
no, it tastes good, but it's good in the way that cinnamon, of course, is a good spice, but you don't want to dump a cup full of cinnamon in your mouth.
Serving suggestions: serve slightly chilled in a wine glass or an aperitif or over ice with fruits
Boy, that's harsh.
at room temperature.
That's
In
strong.
a port wine glass is excellent as a dessert wine or for a winter warmer. Heat the liquid without boiling and serve in a mug. Now that's referred to as mold
Mold mead.
mead, which a lot of times what they would do is they'd take the poker, stick it in the poker in the fireplace and get it hot,
Yeah,
and then stick it in the glass.
yeah, and warm it up.
Right.
In the mug or whatever, and warm it up. Viking Blood. I think this is a very commercial product. I think they're probably producing it by the thousands of gallons. I think they're making a lot of it. And I think it reflects the time period that it's from, when people wanted spicy stuff, like spicy wines and spicy drinks and things like that. And I think the mead maker probably should take a little bit of a cue from nowadays. Our palates aren't so oriented to heavily spiced foods.
Yeah.
It's pretty spicy, folks. And hibiscus, I don't know how to describe it, but it is sort of a cinnamony flavor, but it's strong. It's like I got a cinnamon stick
Yeah.
in my mouth, and that's a lot of cinnamon. On the other hand, I can taste the honey and the sweetness. The level of sweetness is just about right,
Mm-hmm.
and the honey is good, and it's smooth, good honey. But because of that spice, it's just really difficult to enjoy it. I think it's almost like you want to cut it with something, like cut it with some fruit, or cut it with some water to kind of tone that spice down.
Yeah. So
Um,
it's a little bit harsh.
Yeah, it's a little bit sharp.
It's drinkable, but it's a little bit harsh.
Oh, it's definitely drinkable. I mean,
I could actually imagine sitting around a fire, sipping this.
Yeah, I could too. I just wish it wasn't quite so sharp
Yeah.
with its flavor. I think they should have toned it back a little, sort of walked it back.
Yeah, it really hits the back of the palate,
Yeah,
and it doesn't burn, but it kind of burns. I mean, it's not like rum. You know, some of the rums we've had that burn.
yeah,
This leaves kind of a, I don't know. It's like eating cinnamon.
yeah. It's like
You know.
it's like having a cinnamon stick in your mouth.
You know.
There's a lot of cinnamon. It's just, it's what you're tasting. When I think you should really be tasting more of the honey, I'm really tasting more of the cinnamon.
Yeah.
To be honest.
The spice.
Yeah.
And it leaves kind of a astringent aftertaste that lingers.
Yes, it does. It lingers quite a bit, which leads me to believe that it probably would be good mixed, or not mixed, but with something else. I can see like vanilla ice cream, something like that, something to kind of wash away the spice flavor.
Yeah, a little bit of eating that with some vanilla ice cream would probably be good.
Ooh, boy, that's harsh, hon. Woo! I don't know what to say about that, folks. I had high hopes for it. And I know if people really like spicy drinks,
Yeah.
this is really the drink for you. I don't typically like spicy meads. I like fruity meads. I like meads with blackberry, blueberry, raspberry, fruit in them.
Lemon. You know.
Lemon. I love fruity
There
meads.
is some other meads that one of our previous episodes has a saffron,
Yes.
or they have one that's got vanilla, which is not a fruit. It is a form of spice, but that mead is by far and away one of the best.
Oh my goodness. That smooth vanilla mead is fantastical to drink. The honey and the vanilla complement each other perfectly, and it's absolutely excellent. This, on the other hand, the hibiscus, I think I would have walked it back a little bit. It's just a little on the extreme side,
Yeah.
don't you think?
Yeah.
So how many axes would we give it? It's drinkable.
Well, it's drinkable. It's not as good as some of the other meads.
No.
3 would be the very, very top end of it.
Yeah.
And it's only because it is drinkable, and I mean, you can enjoy it,
Sure.
but it's just not smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, there's meads out there that you could drink and you could just down and you just come out soused.
Yeah.
This mead, you're probably not going to.
The reason,
What was the alcohol? So this is 19% alcohol by volume, which is fairly high.
It's almost like a brandy. I
Yeah.
mean, it's got quite a bit of booze in it. But I can't really see somebody overwhelmingly drinking a lot of this, because that spice would just kind of, I'd be afraid you'd throw it up and you'd never, ever, ever want to taste anything like that
No, if
again.
you got sick on that, you'd probably never want to drink mead again.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not what you want in your life, folks. You just absolutely do not want that in your life. So, to moderate a little bit, we'll have a little sip of this.
Throwback to a previous episode that was sitting here. So.
Yeah, so we'll pour a little bit out of this to kind of wash our palates out, because I think we need to wash our palates out.
Let's finish her up.
Yeah, let's finish it up. There we go.
Once again, that's a Hunter's Moon meadery from Severance, Colorado.
This is a fruit mead. This is melomel. It's got raspberry flavored honey in it.
No, blackberry.
Oh, I'm sorry, blackberry. Okay, so Scarlet Raven.
Skål.
So, friends, we're going to say goodbye to you now with this drink, and we're going to say skål to you. We hope you're taking care of each other. We hope during these harsh times that everything's going well. Stick to your guns, folks. We're going to make it through this. It's hard, but we're not wimps. We're tough. We're going to make it through it. Just remember, we're descendant from people who sailed across the Atlantic in little bitty boats, and we hacked our way through one thing and the other, or we're descended
It
from
survived a disease that killed 1/3 of all of Europe.
Exactly, or we're descendants of people who chased the mammoths across the Great Plains and lived in teepees and killed great game animals with stone tools, and raised their sacrifices every day to the sun or to their other deities. Or these are the people who developed thousands of years of myth and legend. Folks, we're all descended from them, and we're just as tough, and we can make it. And so I say to you now, folks, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Pirate Round.
And don't let these episodes kind of throw you off. We're not in our end of the Pirate Round.
Oh, no,
type
not
thing.
at all.
We needed to do a couple episodes. We didn't have much time to prepare because the captain here is going to be peg-legged for a little bit, and he can't be hobbling around where the studio is. So we wish that he'll be making it through this fine. He's just going to be hobbling around for a while, and we wanted to just come up with some stuff that we wanted to do some mead.
True.
As I start getting a little tipsy off this stuff, because it can get to you pretty quickly. We wanted to come up with something that was quick, and we thought we'd been wanting to do mead for a while, and we just thought, let's do it now.
Yeah. And of course, this is in celebration of the Norse culture and the Vikings, who were the original wolves of the sea, the original pirates. And so we say to you folks, thank you so much. Like, share, and subscribe our channel. And we love you so much, and we're so grateful for you to be here and to be our friends. And we say to you now, skål.
Skål
Take care of one another.
to the ancestors.
Ah, so good. Smooth as silk. So good.
That's so good.
Did you finish all yours?
I finished all that. No,
I know.
don't tease me like that. I've got a sword.
So good.
So good. So good.